Howdy y'all, Amber here, and welcome back to Ginger Cowgirl's Nook. Today we will be coloring out of Steampunk Darlings by Lynn. We'll be using our Cali Arts, my white gel pen. I may or may not pull other colors from my other marker sets. I haven't decided yet. So yeah, let's jump into the video. Today we will be coloring this super cute cutie. So I started to color her. I always color the skin off camera. But I started to color her, and then I realized that I did not turn my phone off of, I did not put my phone on airplane mode. So I got a call from my husband, and all the footage that I did have went away. So we will start from here. As you can see, I didn't get very far. So this is just, I know it's hard to see, but it's a brighter green and a black. I will be, I don't know how to make that lighter. I hate that I can't make it lighter. Anyways, I will be getting new lights very, very, very soon. So I'm super excited about that. So that this wouldn't be as dark as what it is. I know when I use dark colors, it's kind of hard to tell the difference. Like this right here is actually really bright green. Fortunately, I can't really fix that right now. So, yes. Hopefully I could get that figured out soon. I got a lamp in mind that I'm going to be getting probably as soon as I'm done recording this video to come here. So, my plan for her is we're going to make her a gothic. She looks very witchy to me. So, we're going to make her a gothic steampunk. We are using G515 from the Cali Arts, and since I don't want to actually use black, we are using WG07 for the darker parts. Alright y'all, let's get started. So how is everybody doing? Anybody coloring anything new? Anybody find a new medium that they're trying? Anybody found a new illustrator that they like? Are we participating in any color alongs, buddy colors? So let me know down below because I would love to hear about them in the comment section. I would love it to hear what y'all are coloring and just how y'all's coloring journey is doing. So my last video, I told y'all I have some really, really big news, which I do, that I am super, super, super excited about. Some of you may think it's awesome. Some of you may think that it's kind of dumb. Regardless, I'm super, super happy about it. So, yeah. So in my last video, I told you all about my chaos on Friday. About the interviews that I had to do and whatever and whatnot. And internship that I had to get everything for and everything like that. So let me elaborate a little bit because I wanted to tell you all last video. But at the same time, I wanted to wait for this video, so hopefully I got an answer. I did get an answer, so let's talk about it, y'all. Let's talk about it. So I am so excited. So as you all know, I am a certified veterinary technician. And if you don't know, I'm a certified veterinary technician. I've been certified since 2018. And I have held many, 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 many vet jobs around where I live. So, super big news. I put in for I was telling my husband that the whole reason I became a veterinary technician is because I thought it would help me get my foot into the door of being in the animal industry, which it does. So I have rethought. I love being a veterinary technician. I do. But I've come to the realization that is it's a really good job, and I do love it so much. However, it can put a lot of stress on the body, and I'm not complaining about that because I could handle it, you know, because I'm also a security guard, so I'm constantly moving. I'm not in bad shape or anything like that, but it's like, you know, it's kind of like I kind of feel stuck being a veterinary technician. Like there's nothing that I could really do or anything like that, maybe different. So, that being said, I decided that I wanted, at first I'm like, you know what, I'm going to do a different career change. I love doing this. Maybe I'll fall back on it at some point. But for right now, I just want to do something different. You know, because I was feeling stuck. And I'm like, okay, so I start looking at some other jobs. Got my security job. Absolutely love my security job, don't get me wrong. But I still long, you know, to be with the animals. And so I got thinking that, you know, I'm already a veterinary technician. What else can I do? What else can I do that I'm qualified to do? Already being a licensed veterinary technician. What else can I do? So I got onto Google, started looking at things, thought about going to the Animal Behavioral Institute online, but then I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that because if for whatever reason, this is the thing that sucks about going to college online, for whatever reason, if I can't finish my degree, then all of those credits that I worked so hard to get, they don't get to transfer with me. They don't get to carry on with me. Plus, the reason I decided to become a veterinary technician is because of how hands-on it is. I'm not one that likes to sit behind a desk and do burk work. I'm not one that likes to sit behind a computer screen or like work at a call center or anything like that. I'm just not that type of person. So, I'm like, what can I do? So then this got me thinking, because I know that pretty much anywhere that deals with animals of any shape or form usually have veterinary technicians on staff, or that they have you know, a vet team. Now, when I say that I felt stuck, what I mean is I didn't feel stuck being a veterinary technician. I felt being stuck always in the clinic. That's what I mean, because the clinics that I worked at, they didn't do like farm calls or anything like that. The first one that I worked at did. I didn't really get to go on to them, so I was always stuck inside. Now, I hate being stuck inside. Hate being stuck inside. Hate being stuck inside. I'm a really outdoorsy kind of person. I don't like being inside. So I started thinking of other things that I can do with my veterinary background that maybe wouldn't put me inside all the time. I mean, obviously, I'm going to be inside a good majority of the time because that's where all the hospital equipment is and so forth, but for the most part, I know there's some jobs where you're outside just as much as you are inside, or you're outside more than you are inside. So this led me to get onto my local I'm like, you know what about being like working at a zoo or a rehabilitation center or something like that. Now, I did volunteer for quite a long time at the rehabilitation center that's near me. However, same thing. I was inside most of the time. That's why I stopped volunteering there, because I hate being inside. So then I'm like, you know what? I have the local zoo around me. I have an aviary around me. I have all these things that are around me, so let me check into like some of those. So I started checking, and I found out that since I have a vet tech background, there's a lot of places that do internships for someone like me. How it's like being the vet tech or having animal experience gets you through the door, and then by hands-on training, you get to go and do many other things, working up in like the animal world, as to say. So I'm like, ooh, let's check this out. So I got onto my local zoo website, and I found out that I could do an internship because I am a certified veterinary technician, plus I just graduated school, not just, but within 4 years. And I'm like, well, this could be my opportunity, because the reason I became a veterinary technician is because I wanted to work in a zoo. I wanted to work in the zoo. I wanted to take care of the animals. I wanted to, be there for them when they're sick, to help them. And not just that, I'd not just help them when they're sick, but do all aspects of working at a zoo. And I thought that by becoming a veterinary technician, where it's great to work with animals, that it would be even greater to work with really cool animals. Exotic animals, which I actually quite love, and I actually specialized in exotic animals when I was in school. So, that being said, I'm like, you know what, let's just figure it out. So I filled out the paperwork for the internship. It's at my big not local, but a zoo really close to me. About an hour away. Hour 15 minutes away. Not that big of a deal, right? No. And, well, it's not that big of a deal for me. Maybe for some of y'all, you're like, that's a really long commute, but not for me. Anyways, and so I'm like, all right, well, let me just give it a shot. Let me see what I can do. And then I realized that, I thought of doing this that night. Earlier that night, I thought about looking into, zoos and stuff around, 4 o'clock at night. I actually get around to actually looking at zoo stuff at, about 7 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock at night. Whenever I got done with my 9 courses that I mentioned that I had to do in my last video for my guard job. So, it was about 8, maybe 9 o'clock. I'm not exactly sure when it was, but it was, relatively soon. And I'm like, all right, so at first what it does is it asks you to fill out an application, which you had to fill out to make sure that you were qualified for the internship, which I was. And then it asked you to pick 3 possible internships that you would be interested in. So for me, the first one that I picked was small animal house. And what's in the small animal house here at my zoo is reptiles. Huge fan of reptiles. Have a few, had a few, got a few now. Love reptiles. Amphibians. Had a few, don't have any now, but love them just the same. Birds. Lots of experience in birds, because that's mainly what I dealt with at the rehabilitation center. And small mammals. Sugar gliders, teeny tiny monkeys, bats, that kind of thing. And, of course, bugs. And I'm like, all right, so that would be my number 1 choice, because I'm fascinated by all of these creatures. Especially the reptiles, amphibians, arachnoids. I'm really, really, really interested in those. The small mammals is a plus. And I do like birds. It's one of those where I want to own a bird. But I fell in love with birds working at the rehabilitation center. So I'm like, okay, we'll do this one first. So I did that one first, and then I had to pick 2 other internships that I would be interested in, and because they're like quarterly. So like 1 quarter you'll work at one, the next quarter you'll work at another one, the next quarter you'll work at the other one, and then the 4th quarter you get to go back to your whichever one you choose for the last quarter. So essentially you end up with 1 quarter of 2 of them, or 3 of them, and then 2 quarters of, you get 1 quarter of 2 of them, and then 2 quarters of 1 of them. So the next one that I picked was animal ambassadors. Now the reason I picked animal ambassadors is when I was at the rehabilitation center, they had an animal ambassador. His name was Phoenix, and I had the privilege to work with Phoenix quite regularly, like almost every day that I was there, and thus I found the love that I have for, sorry, I just took a drink of my water here, animal ambassadors. So I picked those ones. I'm like, okay, this is going to be awesome. Well, then I find out that there's a time limit to get these applications in. Okay. And then there's a grace period for, whatever happened of a couple days. Well, I'm like literally at like the last part of the grace period. So if I wanted to get my application in, I had to make sure I qualified for it, which I did, fill out the application for it. Then, if they saw that I was qualified for it, at that point, then I was able to pick the internships that I want to do. Sorry, I just hit my head with the camera. And then, so I did all that, had to wait back for, then I was supposed to wait to find out if, there was openings in these 3 particular, because they only can take so many applicants for each internship. So then I had to wait to make sure that there would have been enough room within the guidelines there. So then I'm like, okay, that's fine. I waited, and then the next day I got the thing for the interview, which was the interview that I had at 2, even though I already had a normal interview. And, that was the short notice one. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. We could roll with it. Found out that there is openings. Now, I don't know if I got it yet or not. But then I had to go through and I had to email my resume to them. I had to write myself a cover letter explaining why I believed that why I wanted the internship in the first place. I had to highlight my qualifications to where I could get into the internship, and then I had to write 2 paragraphs on each internship that I wanted to do and explain to them why I chose that one and why I felt like that I was qualified to do that one. So I'm like, okay. So I did that, and then they mentioned to me that so I picked the 3. I picked the animal ambassadors. So the rule was you pick 2 that you know about, and then you pick 1 that you don't know nothing about, but you would like to learn about. So the 2 that I picked that I knew about was the small reptile house, with the reptiles, amphibians, arachnoids, birds, and then the small mammals. Now the small mammals I'll have to learn about, but that's okay. And then the animal ambassador, I chose that one because of my experience. And then the one that I chose that I didn't know anything about was primates. And so in the first two, I had to explain why I chose those and what makes me think that what makes me think that would be a good fit for an internship for me. And then in the last two paragraphs, when I had to talk about the third internship that I chose, I had to say why I chose that one. Like what's intriguing me to choose that one, because I could choose from quite a few. So I did all of that, got it sent off. I'm like, huh. And then I found out, I got an email saying, thank you for applying for the internship. We have you down for da-da-da-da-da. There is, room in such internships. However, we will not pick the internships until April. So I have to wait to see if I get my internship until April, because it starts in May. May to August is my internship. And then they're like, they laid out the rules for the internship if I got it. That it'd be my responsibility to drive to and from the zoo. I'd have to be there for 40 hours a week. Through these time frames, I would have to tell them, what days I could work, but I had to be there for 40 hours a week. I had to be able to be on call. And, there was quite a few things that I need to make sure that I will do. They want to help with gas mileage, anything like that, which is fine. I will totally drive there to do my stuff, no matter how much gas it takes, whatever. That's how much I want to do this. So I'm like, okay. So then I'm like, but I really, really want to do something like this. And then I'm like, okay, so I got online and I'm all like, there's a little teeny tiny zoo, tiny zoo in the town that I live. Super tiny zoo, super tiny zoo. It's just here where our park is. It's very small. But they do have reptiles and birds and small mammals. They don't have any big cats or bears or anything like that. No, it's too small. But I'm like, you know what? And I talked to my husband and told him about the thing about the internships. And since I wouldn't be able to do it, even if I did get qualified, and I did get the internship, it wouldn't be until the summer. And so then I'm like, well, I don't want to wait. I want to do something start doing something right now. So then I thought about going back into the college at the Animal Behavioral Institute. And then my husband's like, well, babe, that your credits won't transfer. I'm like, yeah, I know, but it'll help me. It wouldn't give me hands-on experience, but it would give me book experience in what I needed. But he's like, babe, you really hate doing book work. You're much better learning hands-on. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. And so then I'm like, well, I'm just going to see how much it is and everything like that, okay? And he's like, okay, that's fine. And if you want to do it, I will support you. You know that. But just know, that you'd become frustrated. And if for whatever reason we can't finish it, we can't pay for it, I didn't get the good enough grades for it, whatever the case may be, all of those credits would not follow me. I'm like, well, it says it could get done between, 6 months and a year. So that's not very long to be in school. He's like, all right, well, look into it and then just tell me what you think about it. He goes, there's no financial programs or anything like that, so we'll have to pay for it ourselves. I'm like, I know. I know that. So I look into it, find out that it is that I have to take 6 courses, and I have to do 3 courses. So I have to do 6 core courses. Then I have to pick 6 classes in whatever I want to specialize in. Like if I wanted to specialize in reptiles, it would be 6 classes upon the core classes that I need to do to get me qualified to be specialized in it. You know, like, okay. And I'm like, well, that don't seem too bad. And you know, it's online, so I could do it late at night when I do my arts and crafts some nights. You know, it's only for a year, not that big of a deal. I love her outfit, you guys. Like, this is the coolest outfit. Just saying. I love this outfit. And then I'm going to take this really, really bright green. I don't know why I just colored her lenses green, but I felt like it, so we rode with it. Guys, she looks so cool. Okay, back to what I was saying. Anyways, now I'm going to tackle maybe the books around her, her little kitty cat right here. And I'm like, okay. So I look into it, and I'm like, oh, there is no way. There is no way I could afford this, because each class, you guys, each class is $1,569 each class. I'm like, whoo, that's expensive. I don't know, even though my husband gets paid really good money, like, I don't think I would be able to afford that. So I'm like, okay, we're not going to do that. But I still wanted to do something to reach my goal of being a zookeeper. So I'm like, what can I do? So then, that's when I got online, and I know there's the really teeny tiny zoo here. And I'm talking like hecka small, you guys. Like really, really, really small. But I'm like, you know what? It's a start. And if I could intern there, when I go and do my interview that will be closer to the time that the internship is, I could say that I have been doing an internship here. So I'm like, okay, so I get on the computer. I know that I'm not gonna find any really huge, big, animals or anything there. I've walked through the zoo. You know, this particular zoo is super, super small. But I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm going to do it anyways. So I get on. I apply for their internship. Because their internship, like I said, they are in my town. They're a really, really small zoo. But it would give me experience in hopes that when I get my interview just before we actually start the internships at the big, big zoo that's an hour and 15 minutes away from me, that I could say, well, I've been doing this type of thing. So I had to do the same thing. I had to get on. I had to explain if I was qualified, what I was interested in, you know, that kind of thing. But it was just a really small little message to the director of the zoo for this particular one. And I'm like, okay. So I do that. And then I wake up. I have the interview at 1. The job interview. I now have the one interview for the big zoo for half an hour away, or an hour and a half away, hour and 15 minutes away. I have that second round of interviews. And I'm like, you know, and then on top of this, I have another security job interview at 1. I have the big interview, or at 1:30, I have the security job interview. At 2, I have the interview for the big zoo. And then I got an email that morning, and the guy's like, you know what, we're really interested in you. You seem like it'd be a good fit for us. We were randomly, I know it's a little early and it's short notice, but we are going to do interviews at 1. I'm like, oh my gosh. And it's like 12:15, you guys, because my husband let me sleep in. I'm like, you know what? It's a short notice. You know, he told me it was a short notice. He goes, I hope that you could make it. I said, you know what? I can make it. So I'm like, oh my gosh. So I then have an interview at 1:30, 2. I have another interview for another job at 4. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I just felt like everything was getting slammed at me all at the same time. And I'm like, I don't know if I could do this. Like, this is craziness. But I did. I did all the interviews. And I was expecting the one at the small zoo to take a couple days, the zoo that's here in my town, to take a couple days to get back to me. No, it was like, when I filled out their application online, like, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning, you guys. And then he had emailed me back at like 11 something. And obviously I was still asleep. So I'm like, oh my gosh. So I did the interview, you guys. He asked me what I was interested in. I explained to him, you know, this is what I was interested in. This is why, da-da-da-da-da. And you guys, I get to start the internship. I get to start the internship next week. And I am so... Sorry, I just took another drink of my drink. I am so freaking excited, you guys. Oh my gosh. I am so excited for this internship. Yeah, it'll be small. That's fine. I'll still get to do with reptiles, amphibians, birds, small mammals, and it's going to be such great freaking experience for when I go to do the big zoo, or if I don't get the internship there at the big zoo, it'll be like extremely good. Extremely good experience for me. And he's like, and most of the time we hire our interns. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I may be working in a zoo a lot sooner than I anticipated. And if that's the case, you guys, I'm going to be so freaking excited. So excited. So that is my really big, exciting news. I'm so super excited about it. You guys may be like, well, that's not a big deal. That's not something I would like to do. But you guys, this is my lifetime career goal, is to be a zookeeper. And come next week, I will be interning at a zoo where they hire their interns 90% of the time to become zookeepers. And my mind is just blown. Now, granted, it might be like small. If I get hired on there, it's a super small zoo. But you guys, that is working experience that I could put on my resume or my application for like the next big zoo that I move to or whatever. On the plus side, you guys, zoos are all over the world. All over the world. So if me and my husband decide to move somewhere like far away from here, there will probably be a zoo close by. And so it's not just like this is what I'm going to do while I'm here. No, this is like something that I could carry with me no matter where I go in the world. No matter where life takes me, if I could get hired on as a zookeeper, I will find work anywhere. Anywhere. Plus, I won't be inside very often. I mean, I will for surgeries and whatever and whatnot. But most of the time, they're like giving the care to them in their enclosures. They're helping with like animal husbandry. They're helping with animal training. They're helping with animal behavior. Guys, I could be very close to some of the coolest animals in the whole world very soon. And I'm like, mind blown, guys. Mind blown. So, that's my very exciting news. And as you could tell by my voice, it is so exciting for me. Oh my God, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Okay. Calm down, Amber. Anyways. So yes. That is my exciting news. Now that I've got that out of my system, it's been, like, guys, it has been killing me to, like, not tell you in the last video and since I found out, because, like I said before, today is Saturday, and when I'm talking to you on Saturday and I'm recording the video, I am actually talking about stuff that happened last week. So I've known this for almost a week. And I haven't been able, I mean, obviously, my family knows, you know, obviously, I've known, but I've been waiting to tell you guys for so long that I'm like, oh, can I just tell them now? Please, please, please. I just want to tell them. And it's been driving me nuts. And the last video that I made, I wanted to tell you guys about it so bad, but I'm like, I'll wait, because I had other stuff to talk to you guys about. And so I'm so happy that I was finally able to talk to you guys about it. I am so excited. Oh my gosh. Like, I'm kind of, like, at that point where, like, I know that it's happening, but I'm also like, oh my gosh, is this really happening to me? Like, I can't believe this is happening to me, you know, because I thought up until just recently, I'm like, I'll never be able to work at a zoo, you know, so on and so forth. And here I am being able to work in a zoo come next week. So excited. Let me scroll her up so you can see actually what I'm coloring, because I am coloring sorry, I gotta move my book up. Coloring all of these little books down here. And I just realized that you couldn't see half the books that I was trying to show you, so that I had already colored. So sorry about that. We're right now, so this is so many books. I don't know where to start, but I know I want to keep in dark, like, gothy colors, because this is a goth steampunk gal, because I decided that. And so I want to keep in fairly dark colors, but I want them to look like different books. And up until this point, I've only been using my Cali Arts, but that might change very soon. Anyways, so anything excited happening with y'all? Please let me know down in the comments. I would honestly really love to know how y'all are doing. How's COVID treating y'all? You know. I also found out that, well, hopefully, I'll have to wait until Monday to find out for sure, but I think I know what shift I'm going to be for my security job. I told you a little bit about it last week. I still haven't heard anything, and for those of you who didn't watch the video last week, my last video, not last week, but my last video, there was some issues with hours for my security job, which was frustrating to me because I told them in my interview and in my training class that I had to do that I could not work nights certain days because my husband works nights And he goes to work at 6 p.m. at night and don't get home till 6 a.m. in the morning. And so there was a couple, there was some issues with that because they wanted me to work. First, they wanted me to go down to the really big city that's by me because they're in great need for female security guards down there. But that is an hour away from where I live. And that will be rather hard to do for a couple reasons. The commute, an hour there, an hour back. It's kind of a long commute. Don't get me wrong, I've commuted that before, but it's really long, and I would prefer to stay where I am. Plus, the problem is that security job, if stuff happens, which it will happen at any security job, but, you have to break up fights, you have to do stuff like that sometimes. The problem is, and yes, I know it's based on where you're from and what kind of security guard you are and what you're securing, kind of thing. You always want to try not to touch the other person when you're a security guard, but according to the lady that I'm talking to, she said that sometimes you actually have to break up fights down in the big city that she wanted me to go to. Problem is, male security guards can't touch females. And I'm like, okay, well, that's not a bad thing. So they're in great need of female security guards down there if the need arises. But here's the problem, you guys. I know y'all haven't ever seen me, but I'm 6 feet tall, 180 pounds of muscle, probably 190 pounds of muscle now. I have really short hair that I frohawk. I wear men's clothing. I wear men's jewelry. And from afar, and I asked for a male's uniform, from afar, unless I open my mouth, y'all would think that I am a man. My trainer, from when I went to my security guard training, thought I was a man. Until he called my name, and I said, right here, he thought that I was a man, you guys. And if he's that close to me, like I was sitting like almost right next to the guy who was up in front of the class. If he being that close to me thinks I'm a boy, I was wearing boy clothes and stuff, then somebody that's afar is gonna think that I'm a guy. And I'm like, I don't think that will be good. And up until this point, the person that I was talking to hadn't seen me. But she had called me, and we were talking, and she's all like, okay, I have the email, because I had to send over my I-9 forms, you guys. So like my driver's license, my birth certificate, my social security card, those kind of things. And she goes, okay, I'm about to pull up the email that I received with your I-9 forms to make sure that we got, all the forms that we need. She opened up the thing, looked at my driver's license, and she's like, oh, this could be a problem. She goes, because if I haven't been hearing you, I would think that you are a man. And I'm like, that's the problem. That's the problem that it would be for me being a security guard down there. And so I'm like, nope, I'm not going to go be the security guard down there. That could get me in trouble. That could get the company in a lot of trouble if somebody thinks that I'm a man and I'm having to break up a fight with the female. And since men are not allowed to touch the females, that can be a problem. So I'm like, nope, can't do it. She's like, fair enough. And so I told her then, she's like, okay, so what kind of things, is there any days you can't work? Is there any shifts that you can't work? So on and so forth. She's like, I'm the district manager, but I won't be the one that's, like, I'll be working for her, but she won't be my immediate supervisor, if that makes sense. So I'm like, yeah, I can't do these days. She goes, okay, well, I'll put this to the hiring manager. I will send this to the hiring manager down in your area, and we'll go from there. So everybody knew what my schedules were, and she was then the hiring manager down here that would actually end up being my boss that I report to every day, put me on shifts that, like, would be really hard for me to work. And I'm like, so now I'm currently waiting on my security job. Well, not currently waiting. So what happened is the hiring manager called me, asked me if I could work. She said, I have a security position, an unarmed security position in Logan, and it's 5:30 a.m. to 1600. I'm like, well, I'm not sure about military time that much. She goes, from 5 a.m. to 4 p.m. She goes, can you do this? And I'm like, well, crap, I can't do that one because, and it would have only been Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and I would be to work at 5 a.m. and I would get home at 4 p.m. And I said, well, unfortunately, I can't do that one because that would put my children being home for over an hour, because I would have to be to work at 5. My husband gets off work at 6 a.m. in the morning, so that would put my children here for, a little over an hour by themselves. Now, it's kind of a toss-up because we could do that. My kids aren't super, super small, but I am still not sure if that's something that I would like to do. And she's like, okay. And she's like, well, let me look into other ones. And then the next one that she told me was Monday through Thursday from 2:30 p.m. to 2:30 a.m. Oh, from 4 p.m. to 2:30 a.m. So I'm like, well, I can't do that one either because my husband, not only does he work Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., on every other Thursday, he works the exact same shift. So I was really frustrated. And so then I looked, my husband's like, babe, didn't you say 5:30? Because I had talked to him about it a little bit. He goes, I could get off at 5:30, babe, from his job to be there for the kids so that they'll only be home maybe 10 minutes by themselves. And I'm like, well, she told me 5. Let me double check. So I double checked with her, and she's like, no, 5. It's 5:30 a.m., not 5 a.m. And I'm like, okay. So then I'm like, well, I could do that one. Like, I could swing the, that one, working from 5 a.m. to 4 p.m., Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, because my husband said that he could get off at 5:30, and I have to be to work at 5:30, so that would literally put my kids home for just like 10 minutes by themselves. Because my husband literally works, you pull out of our little complex thing, you go up to the stop sign, you make a left, and 2 blocks in is where my husband works. So it's not very, it's not very long, so it would probably be like 5 minutes most days. Okay, I could do that. Not too worried about that. 5 minutes. So I text her. I tell her that I would be able to do that, and I'm waiting to hear back. So hopefully hopefully. I will get that position, and then I would work Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at those hours, and then that would leave Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday that I could do my animal internship at the zoo. Plus, I could still be able to go rock climbing, which I'm an avid rock climber, so why would I not want to do that? So I'm like, so hopefully I get it. But if not, my husband's like, it's not really that big of a deal because he could work overtime, and if he works 4 hours of overtime at $32 an hour, like, we're not gonna need, like, that's what he'll get paid for his overtime, is he gets $32 an hour for overtime. And then, you know, so money's not really an issue. But I don't want to do that because I don't like solely relying on my husband. I know that sounds weird, but it's alright. So, hopefully it pans out. Hopefully it works out. We'll see. I'm not 100% sure that it will. But if it don't, then it's not like there will, like, you take this shift and done. It's like they have multiple shifts at multiple different times. It's kind of like a staffing agency for the security company because they have, you know, places worldwide that they could do. Plus the fact I could either be an armed guard or an unarmed guard is really helpful. So we'll just see how that goes. I'm hoping that it works out. But we will see. Anyways, so I love how this is turning out. I think it's turning out amazing. You could kind of see that that's green now. So I am kind of watching the camera too because of time limits that I have. Speaking of which, I need your all's help. So the whole purpose of me making these videos is for y'all. And me and my husband now have extra money because he's got some bonuses coming in that he gets every year from his job, that we are going to update my system over here, my recording system. And I would love it if you are a colorer and you have a coloring channel, or if you just might know the answer to these questions, if you would please put them down in the comment section so that I could improve my recording situation to improve your guys' viewing ability at home. So here's what I got going on. So I plan on getting new lights because I just have one little lamp like over here and it's not even really a good one. So it makes my picture look rather dark. So if you have any ideas of something that I could use to, as far as lighting goes, please put them down in the comments. I thought of a rim light or a halo light, whatever they're called, except for I don't really have room on my desk for that. So, because my desk is actually quite small, plus there's like this shelving unit like up here. So that might be a little difficult. But if you guys have any ideas of lighting that I could put maybe on my shelves that are here on the sides or up here, let me know. I don't know if I want to put lights like on top of my shelf, like right here above my camera, because I think what would happen is that it would cast a huge hand shadow on my book, which would make it even harder to see, even though I have the light over here. So I don't know if I want to put something up at the top, but I do need to get new lights. So if you know of any, please let me know down in the comment section so I could look into those. The other thing that I am going to be changing is I'm going to be changing what I record on. I just don't know where to go to. So I currently record on my cell phone, and a lot of YouTubers record on their cell phone. I realize that, but my cell phone kind of gives me issues doing that. So that's kind of a pain. So if you know of a better recording type device that you could hang to look overhead, please let me know that, and I would also possibly look into getting something like that, because that is my two biggest goals for right now, is to fix the lighting and find something better to record on. I'm just not sure what would be the best thing to record on, being a coloring channel. Now, if it was something like an action channel or something like that, you know, a GoPro would be really good. My husband thinks a GoPro would still be the best option. I'm just not too sure of that. Because the reason I like recording on my phone is because I could just record the video and just go to my YouTube and just upload it, you know, at that second, and, you know, schedule it to be put in, and then I could just go in and edit it, you know, off of my computer or my phone, because they have the app that you could do it off of your phone as well. So I do like that aspect of it. That being said, it doesn't really do too well as far as using this phone, because I record the videos, I wait till they're posted, and then I have to delete them off my phone so I can continue to record more. So that's kind of a pain to do. And I know that if I did a GoPro, I would have to record it on the GoPro, then I would have to upload it to my computer, and then I would have to go in and edit it, which I am okay doing, you know, if that's going to be the best option to do. So, yes, if you know of any, please let me know. I will be extremely happy to hear about it, so that I know what some of y'all are recording on. So if you'll please leave me a comment about those two specific things, I would greatly appreciate it. I also plan on going over to my Instagram and asking the same questions. I usually have more people that like my videos, see my videos and stuff over on Instagram. So hopefully I could put that question out there and maybe get some answers. I do plan on doing just a little face-to-face video, a small little video that I could post onto Instagram about the same thing. So please let me know what y'all think. I would greatly appreciate it. I am just trying to color all of these books. I want them all to be dark because she's gothic, but at the same time I don't want them all to be brown. I want them to have accent colors. And I'm still trying to use just my Cali art markers and not get any other ones. I mean, if I'm not finding what I want, or I get stumped or frustrated, I will definitely pull out my other markers, but I'm still trying just to use these particular markers right now. I've almost got all the books done. I need to color these two, so hopefully I can find a darker color. Ooh, maybe this B962. That one looks really dark. Let's use it. to color these with, so. There we go. I actually really like this color, so we're gonna put this in butterfly over here. There we go. And color this part right here. Okay, this is turning out so cute, you guys. I keep checking my camera because I don't want to lose all this footage. Because that's the other problem that I have with my cell phone. If I run out of like storage space to do it, it will just like stop recording. But then everything that I have recorded disappears too. So it's not even that I have the recording up until it shuts off. No, it is all gone. So I don't want that to happen. Ooh, I actually really like this color. Maybe I'll use this color for her little things right here. And I actually want to take this and make it like a, like I know that this is curtains and I think this is too, but I think I kind of want to make this look like a cape that she's wearing. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do that. I'm going to take the color that I colored her accents in black with, and I am going to color this too, so that hopefully it looks like a cape that's sitting behind all of these stacked of books, because that would be awesome. Oh yeah, I like that. It looks like a cape that she's wearing. Really like that. Okay, now our goth girl's got a cape on. I actually really like that. And then I'm going to take this color and I am going to color these curtains back here that color. But I'm going to accent them with this black color. But you guys, this really ain't black. This is actually warm gray 7 is the color that I'm actually using instead of black, because I don't actually want black on this page. So everything that appears to be black is not black. It is warm gray 7. So just in case y'all was wondering. Okay. Or do I want to take these and make them this dark red? No, I'm going to make them this bright green. And I think I'll take this dark red and do the background right there. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so I'm going to take B962 and color these curtains. That color. I think it will be awesome. Take the chisel tip, color all of this in. And then I'm also thinking about getting a cover for my desk. so you're not seeing the brown. I've thought of a couple different things. There's like mats that you could put down. The only thing I worry about those is I worry that it's gonna like not make my book flat, which could be hard. But at the same time, I think it will provide cushion for like my elbows, my arms and stuff for when I do color. Plus it'll be something to look at, you know, that would be pretty in the background. I also have thought about a big piece of like construction board or like paper that what's it called, like poster board paper that has a really pretty design on it. To put as a background. That way, if I accidentally color on it or something and it gets too dirty, we could just throw it away. So I thought about that, and I'm not sure which one would be the best option to do. I know of YouTubers that do both. So I kind of want to try the matte aspect of it, mainly because I just found a matte that I really liked on Amazon that I could do. I also thought about putting a moon lamp on the desk. Again, the problem is the space on my desk, because currently right now I have the space that I color, which you guys see, to the left of where I'm sitting, there's a lamp that's kind of big and kind of bulky, so if I could find a slimmer lamp, that would be helpful. I also have over there by the light lamp, I have my jellyfish, which is calming to me. And I want my space to be calming. It's just a little lamp. Well, not really a lamp. It's a little tank that has jellyfish in it. No, they're not real jellyfish. They're fake jellyfish, but they dance around and stuff in the tank, and the tank's lit up pretty and stuff, so that it's calming to me to sit and just, like, I could be coloring and I could just, like, when I'm choosing colors or something, I look at it, you know, or you know, so I look at it, or when I'm particularly stressed or whatever, I also look at it. So I like having my calming space. On the other side, on the right side of where I color, I have my laptop. And so that takes up all that space. And then above my laptop, I have a shelf that I put like my coloring books in, and above, like right here above my camera, I have it hooked up to another shelf that I put my markers in. So I've pretty much took up all the space. The only thing that I could think of is if I get a different lamp, a more like slimmer lamp or something like that, that would be very helpful. To where maybe I could put, you know, another lamp or something here, like a halo lamp. But the problem is I don't have room for a halo lamp to sit on my desk right now. Like, even to color right now, I have to, like, when I move my coloring book, I have to, like, pick up the lamp and set the coloring book under it for there to be room. So I don't think I could put another lamp here, But if I get a lamp that's brighter or different shades of brightness, then maybe that would help the situation as far as light goes. Because to me, when I'm sitting here, it's very bright, the lamp. But when I look at my camera, it doesn't look very bright. See, this is when I turn off my lamp. And that is when I turn on my lamp. And I feel it makes it really bright for me. But I feel almost like it doesn't help with the picture, because it like makes the picture dark, it seems like to me. So if you guys would please comment if the picture is really dark over there on your end, that would be helpful to me. So anyway, so there's some changes coming to the setup, which would hopefully improve the situation. I'm just not sure where to go about doing it. So I decided to take this really deep red and put it into like her wallpaper. I think it gives it a nice little touch. Originally I was going to color her draperies this color, these. But then I saw that green color and I'm like, oh, I love that green more. So now we are coloring this back here, and I'm actually glad I did, because I think this looks really nice. I think it gives a good pop to color pop to her little exhibit here. Plus I think it will be helpful when I take these dark colors and put it down here, so that it's like everywhere in the picture. So to kind of give it flow. I'm going to color these little flowers down here this color. And I'm going to take my dark green and do the leaves, and I actually really might take my black, my actual black, to do around all of this. Or maybe I could take my cool gray 9 and do it. That way it's not black, but it's not going to blend in with her little tights either. Maybe that's what I'll do, is take my cool gray 9. Or I mean my cool gray 7. I do have a cool gray 9. It's just not in this set of markers. It's not in my Cali Art markers. It's in my Poetry markers. But maybe since I've come this far without using any other markers aside from my Cali Art markers, I kind of want to keep it that way. I mean, I do use, I didn't use my Cali Art markers for her skin tone. I use my skin tone markers, but that's always how it is. So there's that. Now I'm going to take my super dark green again. I believe it's this one. Oh, not super dark green. Color these little leaves. Okay, now we gotta make some big decisions on if I'm going to go in with my Cool Gray 7 or if I want to maybe do Cool Gray 5. I do have Green Gray 7 as well, Blue Gray 7. Trying to make some decisions. Okay, I think I'm going to take my Cool Gray 5 and do this little bench that she's sitting on. I actually really like this. I don't think it's going to blend in much with her stockings. When we get down there, because I didn't want it to blend in with this color right here. So I am so excited, you guys, because I am, in case you don't know, I am a leather worker, just fairly new into the hobby. I do pretty good. I finally started getting, like, I've made leather armor, like simple armor out of pleather for quite a while, and rivets and stuff like that. But I just recently got into stamping and tooling leather. I'm still learning how to do that quite a lot, but I ran into well, not run into, my husband for a while has been telling me that I should get this tool that you could use on leather, and you like basically like draw on the leather, and I'm like, I was very confused. I didn't understand what he was talking about, and he tried to explain it to me, but he could never think of the name of it. But while I was in Hobby Lobby last night picking up a couple of things to do leather working with, I decided that I wanted to do some holsters for me and my husband for our concealed weapons. He asked me if I could build him a pocket Leatherman holder with a little spot for his like little LED mag light to use, and I need to build myself something that I could carry with me at my security job to hold, you know, like my mag light, my little notebook, and my pen. And I decided that I was going to build these out of leather. So I went to the Hobby Lobby store, got the stuff that I needed. There I finally found what my husband was talking about. My husband was talking about a pyrography pin. And I'm like, I don't know what that is. So what did I do? I came home, I got onto YouTube, and I started looking up, you know, what you could do with it. And after watching quite a few videos, I decided that I needed to have me one of these, because basically all it is doing is taking a burning pen and drawing and shading on leather. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that would be so easy for me, because I do draw, and obviously I know how to do shadows and stuff because I have a coloring channel. So I'm like, oh my gosh, that's like almost the perfect freaking thing to do. So after I watched quite a few videos on it, when my husband came home from lunch at like 2 in the morning, when he gets home from lunch, I'm like, babe, I really, really, really want one of these pens. And so he's like, okay, babe, well then get it. And so I ordered one, and it will be here very soon, and I am so excited to do this, because as I was learning about it, my creativity went bananas, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I could put this on a wall, I could put that on a purse, I could, oh, it would be cute, this would be cute as a bookmark, as I'm like, random things are like popping into my head. And so that will be coming soon, so I'm very excited about that. I also have a nice little haul coming. I'm waiting for it to get here. For the coloring channel. So I'm really, really excited to get that. Alright, you guys, the last thing that I'm going to color is I'm going to color these little, what are they called? Gears. And I think I'm going to take my Cool Gray 5 and do those as well. And then after that, I'm going to find my lightest, okay, maybe my mid-lightest Cool Gray to color the windows so it's like outside. It's like kind of dark outside or gloomy because it's like raining outside. And then this picture will be done. So yeah, I'm very excited to get my pyrography pen. And not only can I burn leather, but I could also burn wood. So hopefully that will be something that I could take to craft shows with me and will actually sell. I mean, I do go to craft shows now. I go with my crochet, because I do crochet as well. I think I'm gonna go in with, I don't know if I want to do green gray. Let's go cool gray. You know what? I am gonna pull out my poetry markers because I want to use my Cool Gray 3 for the window back there. So I'm going to get my Cool Gray 3 because I want it to be a little gloomy, but I don't want it to be super dark because everything else in the picture is dark. And we're going to color this as if it's gloomy outside because it's raining. But I don't have a Cool Gray 3 in my Cali Art set. I have Cool Gray 1, Cool Gray 5, and then Cool Gray 7. Cool Gray 7 will be too dark. Cool Gray 5 would be too dark. So we got this one. I guess the other option I could have made it is I could have made it blue gray. But I didn't. Oh well. Then it would have looked more like the night sky since the sky is actually blue. Oh well. This is what we're doing it with. Alright y'all, with that, this is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And if you do subscribe to my channel, please hit the little notification bell so that you could get a notification each time I upload a new video. And remember, always be who you are, because those who mind don't matter, and those who mind don't matter, and those who don't mind matter. Until next time, bye guys!